Hey, I got mail from Poland. What's the story with this envelope? Let's first do a recap of everything that had happened with this AirTag so far. In June 2021, I mailed an AirTag to someone in Chile who had reached out to me. The plan was to do a South America tour with this AirTag. After mailing the AirTag, it made its way to Amsterdam Airport and then flew from Amsterdam to Dallas. From Dallas, it flew to Miami and then on to Santiago in Chile. After clearing customs, it arrived with Sebastian, who took some photos of the AirTag while being in Chile. Next stop was Sao Paulo in Brazil, and so Sebastian mailed the AirTag with DHL and it flew back to Miami. From Miami, it went south to Viracopos Airport in Brazil. DHL wanted $100 handling and customs fee, so it was refused by the receiver, and so it traveled back to Santiago again. A week later, the AirTag was back with Sebastian, and this is where I left the last video. While looking for a new location to send the AirTag, I came up with a research station in Antarctica. Poland has a small research station on King George Island, which is just north of Antarctica. So I sent an email to Antarctica and they replied to me quite quickly that they were willing to receive the AirTag, but they warned it could take a while. Mail delivery is done by helicopter training flights done by the Chilean army. So Sebastian mailed the envelope out with regular mail and I could see the AirTag made its way back to the airport in Santiago. It flew down to Punta Arenas, a town in the south of Chile. It sits at the downtown post office for a while and then it moves back to Punta Arenas airport. It spends 3 weeks there and sure enough eventually it took a flight to King George Island. A few hours later I get my first update from Antarctica. Isn't this just amazing to have Antarctica in your Find My app? The AirTag doesn't stay long at the airport and is eventually moved to a small post office. And when I say small, I mean really small. I get lots of updates from my little AirTag and it spends about 10 weeks there. It then moves back to the airport. I'm excited. This AirTag is now going to take a helicopter flight to the research station. But what happened here? It flew back to Chile. Was there a problem with the address? What went wrong? The AirTag spends 3 weeks at the Punta Arenas airport again and then it flies back to King George Island. Again it spends 3 weeks at the little post office and then suddenly I pick it up at the airport again. This time it takes the helicopter flight to Arktowski station where I eventually pick it up again. They sent me these 2 photos of the AirTag being there. Mission completed. Then suddenly my AirTag went offline for 4 days. I sent an email to ask if everything was okay down there and a day later it became clear. The AirTag was on a ship towards Ushuaia in the south of Argentina. A bit later it showed up at the airport of Ushuaia and it flew to Buenos Aires. It spent a night at a downtown hotel and then on to Frankfurt, followed by a flight to Warsaw. The day after its arrival in Poland, I see the AirTag already at a small post office. And 8 months after sending it out, I get my AirTag back. They included a small note saying, "Dear Alex, your AirTag has reached the Arktowski Polish Antarctic station. Pictures were taken and sent to your email. The device itself will be mailed back to you from Poland. Keen greetings from the 46th Polish Arctic Expedition." So for sure now I have an AirTag on my key hanger with a very cool story. Some people ask me what happened to the AirTag that I had in Chernobyl and if I received any updates since it went dark on November 28. Unfortunately, no updates. If the last location I received is really where it is, I don't even know if it would have survived the harsh winter conditions of the Ukraine. Of course, we all hope it will be found by a Russian soldier who ends up carrying it around so we can track his position. But right now, no exciting stories to tell, unfortunately.